The woman nobody noticed is mopping the officer's medical wing before sunrise. Admiral Victor Hale calls her Mop Girl. Whenever others are listening, she never answers back. Clears throat then, on a night when a military transport crashes outside the hospital, Hale watches the quiet cleaner walk toward the chaos, roll up her sleeves, and reveal a black tattoo beneath her wristband. The room freezes. So does he. If this story reaches something inside you, hit like so it can reach someone who needs it. Subscribe to Silent Scrub Stories for more hidden, hero stories like this. And tell us where you're watching from. For 6 years, Mara Voss worked at Grey Haven Military Medical Center under the harmless title of Environmental Services Technician. She arrived before everyone else. She left after everyone else. She knew which elevators rattled, which supply closets stuck, and which doctors preferred their coffee without being asked. That was exactly how she wanted it. Quiet, invisible, forgettable. Admiral Hale considered that an invitation. Careful, Mop Girl, he said one morning as Mara wiped a hallway near the command suite. That floor might be the most important thing you ever touch. A few officers laughed. Mara kept wiping. Hale stepped closer. Did you hear me? Yes, Admiral. Good. At least your hearing works. More laughter. Mara simply moved aside. But an elderly civilian technician named Walter Reed watched her hands. He noticed that whenever Hale entered the room, Mara positioned herself with her back against the wall and scanned every exit before looking down again. One afternoon Walter asked, "You always sit like that?" "Like what?" "Where you can see every door." Mara gave him a faint smile. "Old habit." Walter studied her. "Whatever you ran from," he whispered, "I hope it knows it didn't win." Mara said nothing. That evening, the weather radio warned of severe thunderstorms moving across the coastal corridor. An emergency alert followed. Lightning had already begun striking near the airfield. Then the transport came down. The impact shook Grey Haven hard enough to rattle ceiling panels. Alarms erupted. Emergency doors slammed open. Smoke rolled through the entrance. Mass casualty event. Someone shout aircraft down. Multiple patients incoming. Hale rushed toward the command station, barking orders nobody could hear. "Secure the entrance. Get surgical teams ready. Somebody call aviation." His voice sounded powerful. His hands were shaking. Then the first stretcher arrived. Burns, crush injuries, hypovolemic shock. Mara stood beside a supply cart. Something changed. Her shoulders straightened. Her breathing slowed. The trembling disappeared from her hands. "Get me 2 trauma kits," she said. A nurse stared at her. Mara stepped back. 2 trauma kits. Now, the voice was different. Flat, controlled, commanding. Then a paramedic burst through the doors carrying a blood-covered officer. "Mara." She looked up. The man on the stretcher opened one eye. "Viper." The room went silent. Mara froze for half a second. Then the paramedic whispered the name nobody at Grey Haven had heard in years. "Viper Actual." Walter looked at Mara. Then at the tattoo appearing beneath her rolled sleeve. A black serpent wrapped around a broken compass. The paramedic's face drained of color. She was never just environmental services. Hale stared. "No." His denial came too quickly. Mara stepped toward the trauma bay. "Who is he?" "Major Daniel Cross." Her eyes locked onto the wounded officer. "My brother." Cross tried to speak. "Thought you were gone." Mara touched his shoulder. "I'm here." Then she turned. The old Mara was gone. Dr. Lynn Airway. The surgeon moved. "Corbett blood warmer. Oh, negative until type is confirmed." "Got it." "Jensen, pressure dressing. His left femur is unstable." Everyone moved. Hale stood behind them. "Mara, you are not authorized." "Admiral, step away from my trauma bay." The room stopped. Not because anyone intended to obey. Because she sounded like someone who had given that order before. Cross suddenly crashed. Pressure dropping. A nurse shouted. "Massive transfusion protocol." Mara said. "Now." A monitor screamed. Then another alarm sounded from the opposite corridor. "Security breach." Mara turned. "Locked surgical corridor. Nobody enters without identification." A security officer hesitated. "Now." The doors sealed. Walter looked toward Hale. The Admiral had gone pale. Then Mara saw a file on the command desk. Insurance authorizations. Experimental treatment codes. Names of injured service members. She understood. "You knew." A Hale swallowed. "What are you talking about?" These patients were being redirected into an unauthorized trauma research program. The hospital administrator stepped backward. "It was approved." "By whom?" Silence. Mara picked up the document. "Your contractor received millions for every enrolled patient." A Hale snapped. "Watch your accusations." Mara looked directly at him. "You let people stay injured because healthy patients were bad for your numbers." Walter stepped forward. "I knew something was wrong." Hale stared at him. Walter's voice hardened. "She told me years ago that institutions can hide mistakes behind quiet people." I didn't understand what she meant. The paramedic beside Cross finally spoke. "I do." He looked at the room. "Lieutenant Colonel Mara Voss, callsign Viper. Former combat rescue commander, 23 documented battlefield extractions. She saved my life twice." No one laughed now. Hale lowered his eyes. Mara turned back to the patient. Cross is still bleeding. And the room moved again. The investigation began before sunrise. In the administrative conference room, Hale tried to hide behind polished words. Protocol requires chain of command approval. The inspector placed a folder on the table. Correct. Hale looked up. Then you understand. No, the inspector said. I understand that you used chain of command to conceal fraud. Another folder landed beside the first. Mara's service record, awards, rescue reports, medical commendations, witness statements. No ceremony, no applause, just facts. Hale stared at the documents. For the first time, he looked smaller than the woman he had called Mop Girl. You knew who she was? He asked. The inspector answered. We knew what she had done. You chose not to ask. Within weeks, Hale was removed from command pending prosecution, and the administrator faced charges for falsifying treatment records. Greyhaven created the Viper Standard, requiring any staff member to report unsafe medical practices without retaliation, regardless of rank or position. Walter found Mara in the hallway one morning. You remember what I told you? She smiled. That whatever I ran from didn't win. Walter nodded. You didn't run. Mara looked toward the trauma bay where her brother was recovering. No, she said quietly. I came back. The junior nurse who had once told Mara to step away approached her. I'm sorry. Mara handed her a clipboard. Then help me train the next trauma team. The nurse nodded, fighting tears. Weeks later, Mara returned to the same hallway, same floors, same windows, same morning light. But this time her sleeves were rolled to her elbows. The serpent tattoo was visible, and beside her name on the staff board were 4 words, Lieutenant Colonel Mara Voss, Trauma Commander. She stopped beneath the old hallway camera, the place where she had once been invisible. Now everyone could see her, and Mara simply picked up her cleaning cart and kept walking, because the woman everyone thought was there to clean the floor had spent years learning how to save the people standing on it. Never mistake quiet for weakness. Sometimes the strongest person in the room is the one who never needed permission to become strong. If this story hit you, leave a like and subscribe to Silent Scrub Stories, and comment the exact moment that hit you hardest. We read every single one.